DA in KwaZulu-Natal saying in the last hour it remains committed to its role in what's called the government of provincial unity. The KwaZulu-Natal leader of the DA, Francois Rodgers, urging those at a national level to resolve their differences over the budget in the interests of the citizens. The party holding a briefing on issues relating to the current coalition involving the DA, the ANC, the IFP and the NFP. Newzroom Afrika's Nobuhle Modise was at that briefing, joins us now. Nobuhle, good morning to you. The political situation in KwaZulu-Natal fairly complicated. What is the DA saying?
Indeed, those are the right words to use, Stephen. Fairly complicated. And the DA firstly started by taking us through the fact that the province should be proud because long before the government of provincial unity was formed, they were working, together with other parties with no issues. And, they also took us through the processes or the current relationship within the GPU and the processes of what's currently taking place in the legislature and how they've managed to make it work. And most importantly, they've said that for now they're not going anywhere. They're still here. They haven't made any utterances around leaving the government of provincial unity. But I do have with me here the DA's KZN legislature head, Francois Rodgers, who is also the finance of MEC, the MEC of finance in the province. And I want him to take us through, essentially what you mean by saying, you're not going anywhere. You're still here, just in the wake of what's currently happening nationally. And I know that you've told us that you don't want to get into detail around, the intricacies of what's happening nationally within the GNU, but you can only speak for KwaZulu-Natal. Therefore, you've implored those within the national structures to find common ground.
So the reality is, in life and in politics, every action has a reaction. Political parties, although we might be in different spheres of government, there is commonality in those structures. And if there's going to be instability in one structure, it could impact on another structure. And that is why the purpose of today's press briefing was also to give media and to give the residents of KwaZulu-Natal the understanding of what it is that we've achieved in our government of provincial unity, which is by no means, without its challenges. We have challenges. But we certainly don't take those challenges out into mainstream. We sit around a table and we come up with solutions and workable way forwards. And our appeal is to our counterparts at a national level, is to do exactly that. Put your egos aside, put the demands of our voters, put the demands of the people of South Africa first. Come up with those solutions. And our solutions are simple. Our commonalities are building capable and ethical state, building a sustainable economy that creates jobs, deals with poverty and inequality. If we can just all take those concepts into account, we can get stability at a national level so that we don't have the possibility of things going horribly wrong in other provinces. And of course, impacting on the 2026 election. If we start falling apart now as governments of national unity and provincial unity, what impact will it have in 2026 where we have hung municipalities?
You haven't shied away from the fact that whatever happens nationally, should you have to withdraw, for example, it's ultimately going to affect what happens here in KwaZulu-Natal. But you've also said that nationally they should use KwaZulu-Natal as an example as to why working in unity helps.
Well, I think I've just said it. In KwaZulu-Natal, there's 4 parties in the government of provincial unity. We certainly don't agree with each other. But when we have issues, where we have differences of opinion, what are the commonalities? What is the end goal that we want to achieve? And that's the type of leadership that we have amongst the 4 role players in KwaZulu-Natal. And I think that is the working recipe. I see very little egos and personalities playing out in the government of provincial unity.
Earlier I asked you around what you feel around the utterances of the IFP nationally, and you mentioned that it was hot air. Maybe elaborate on this for us, because you've mentioned that Nobuhle has not been in a position where he said anything untoward, particularly when it comes to the GPU. But you find its national leaders saying a lot. I was saying to you just this week, Velunkosi Lihlabisa spoke to the fact that there are some people or some politicians who have God complexes and saying that there are ulterior motives as to why you didn't want that 0.5 percentage hike.
Well, again, look, I don't want to get into the national dialogue, but it's the leadership. If you're going to go into the mainstream media and start attacking your partners, it's going to have consequences. We don't see that. You don't see myself, Ntuli or Duma or Mike Maboyakulu standing up and publicly slating the political partners in the province. When you do that at a national level, I'm not sure why you're doing it. What is your motive? Is your motive to destabilize the government of national unity, or is it to build your political profile? But we don't do that in KwaZulu-Natal, and that's a good lesson to learn.
Thank you very much. That is Francois Rodgers, the KZN legislature leader here in KwaZulu-Natal for the DA, and he's just summarized what is basically was entailed here during this briefing. And like I said, the main message here was that they're here to stay, they're not going anywhere yet, and essentially what happens nationally will then affect the way they relate here in KwaZulu-Natal.